Students, in the previous class we have discussed the 8255 BSR mode of operation. In this class we are going to discuss the IO mode of operation. So under IO mode it could be operated with three modes, that is mode 0, mode 1, mode 2. Mode 0 can be operated as simple IO mode where all the three ports are considered to be operating either as an input port or as an output port. And in mode 1 it will be operating as a strobed IO, and mode 2 will be operating it as a strobed input bidirectional. So now in this we are going to see only the mode 0 operation, which is nothing but simple IO mode of operation. Here we have two controls as we discussed earlier. One is your group A control, another one is your group B control. So these groups of control is considered Group A control. Group A control will control port A as well as port C. Group B control will control port B and port C lower. That is why here when you check the bits of D2 from D3 to D7, if you check from D3 to D7, if you check, it is completely port A, which is going to handle your port A and port C upper. So it is going to handle your port A and port C upper. When you notice the bits from D2 to D0, that is D0 to D2, group B will control port C lower and port B. So when you look at this, you could find it is going to handle your port B and port C lower. So first thing you need to consider. So D0, D1, D2 is group B control, which is going to have the control towards your port B as well as your port A, which is going to have the control towards your port B as well as your port A. So when you consider D0, D1, D2, these three ports is a group B control, and it gives signal to port B as well as port C lower, which is PC0 to PC3. When you coming back to the bits from D3 to D7, since it is a group A control, it is going to handle your port A as well as your port C upper. Port A means all the 8 bits of port can be controlled, whereas here only the port C upper could be accessed and it could be controlled. And the bit D7 will define whether we are going to operate this with BSR mode of operation or IO mode of operation. If you are going to operate it with the BSR mode of operation, this particular bit needs to be filled with a logic 0. In case if I am going to operate 8255 as IO mode of operation, then this particular bit needs to be enabled with a logic 1. Next, these two bits. So under IO mode you have three modes of operation, that is mode 0, mode 1 and mode 2. The bit D5 and D6 in group A control is going to have the control towards your modes of operation. If you fill D5 and D6 to be 0, 0, your IO mode is going to operate it as mode 0, which is nothing but simple IO. And if you put 0, 1 in bit D6 and D5, it is going to operate it with mode 1, which is nothing but strobed input. And if you put 1, 0 or 1, 1, that is X represents whether it could be logic 0 or it could be logic 1 in the place of D5. If that is the case, it is going to operate it with mode 2, which is nothing but your strobed IO bidirectional bus. Then D4 will select port A, whether the port A needs to be act as an input port or output port. In this mode 0 operation, your port A, port B and port C can either be used as an input port or it could be used as an output port. Therefore here what we can use is, if you are using 1, your port A is going to act as an input port. If you are going to use 0, then port A is going to act as an output port. In the same way, D3 will decide whether the port C upper PC4 to PC7 has to operate it as an input port or output port. In D3, if you are applying 1, the PC, that is the port C upper, will act as an input port, whereas if you give 0, the port C upper will act as an output port. Therefore, in case of your IO modes of operation, your port A, port B and port C are going to operate it with input or output. Input means we need to specify it as 1 and output means we need to specify it as 0. And the brief description of this, all the 5 bits has been given over here. Now coming back to the last 3 bits. So in this, the D0 will define whether port C lower. Port C lower stands between PC0 to PC3, whether it has to operate it as an input port or output port. If this port C lower, if it wants to act as an output port, then in this D0 bit we should give 0. Suppose if port C lower should be act as an input port, then in this D0 bit we have to apply 1 over here. Then D1 will decide whether port B has to be operated as an input port or output port. When you put 1 in this particular bit, then port B will act as an input bit. Suppose if you are applying 0 in this bit, then port B will act as an output bit. And also you can select a separate mode of operation for this port B also. That is, group B and group A will have a separate modes of operation. Group A mode of operation will be decided by the bit D6 and D5, whereas group B mode of operation is decided by D2. If it is going to operate it with 0, then it is going to have mode 0. If you are putting 1 in this particular block, then it is going to operate it with mode 1. Why here mode 2 is not there in the sense? Because in mode 2, port B is not utilized, because port B is not used in case of your mode 2. Whereas in mode 0 and mode 1, port B is utilized as a IO port. In case of mode 2, your port B is not utilized. That is why here, if you have only 2 possible cases of zeros and ones, it is possible to have a control towards this group B control. So it is your IO modes of operation in 8255, and its characteristics has been described with an individual bit. If I wanted to use my port A, consider I wanted to use my port A as input port, port B as output port, port C upper if I want to use it as an input port, port C lower should also be an input port. Okay, so for this I have to identify the control word from this IO modes of this IO mode of operation. So consider the modes of operation is going to be mode 0. So because in mode 0 only it is possible for us to use all the ports as IO port. I am going to use it in mode 0. Port A need to be input port. So I can write this one as, under mode 0 means in this D6 and D5 you can apply 0 0. And port A as an input port. When port A needs to be used as an input port, the D4 bit has to be filled with 1. Then port B as an output port, where the port B is selected in D1 bit. So here also you have to apply 0. Why? Because port B is selected as an output port. Port C upper as input and port C lower as also input. So here I have to, port C upper is input. So input means I have to put 1 over here. Port C upper is 1 and port C lower is also 1. Now when you analyze the keyword for this particular operation, then you will get 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. So this is the control word, that is control word bit that is obtained for the conditions given as an example over here. So for this it is 0 0 0 1 is going to be 1, 1 0 0 1 is going to be 9. So 19H is your control word register. If you wanted to apply 8255 in IO mode operation under all these conditions, this condition is not mandatory and it is also not fixed. So you can change the condition as on when required and as on when required according to our program. So mode 0 operation, whatever I have explained in the previous slide, The same thing it has been discussed in the form of your sentence. So mode 0 provides a simple IO capability using each of 3 ports. Here no handshaking signal is required. The features of mode 0 is going to be you have all the 3 ports, all the port 0, port A, port B, port C. All the 3 ports can be used as an IO port, and any port can be used as an input port or it could be used as an output port. Here outputs will be latched. In case of mode 0, output is latched, whereas input is not latched. That is, whatever input you are giving, that will be taken as a whole and it will be considered for processing. So use your input to be latched, whereas the output can be latched. So this is the general description of your mode 0. So in the next class we'll be discussing operation. So these are all the signals, dedicated lines. So handshaking signal. So before getting into the next mode of operation, first we will check what is meant by a handshaking signal. Handshaking signal is the one where you need to create a set of rules and regulations for the signal to be transmitted. So you need to establish a valid connection between the two transfer. Between data has to be transferred with a valid communication line, and also a dedicated line is given for the data transfer coordination. And here we have two signals. One is your stop signal, another one is your acknowledgement signal. Stop signal is nothing but your input is ready to get it transmitted. Acknowledge signal is once the data transfer is over, it will acknowledge with the signal stating, it will acknowledge with the signal to the microprocessor or the microcontroller stating that the data has already been received. So why this handshaking signal is required in the sense just to avoid the overlapping of the data between your input and output, so that there won't be any data overlap between the microprocessor or microcontroller to your computer device. That is, there won't be any data overlap between your communication devices. This is the general introduction of your handshaking signal. Now one diagram I will show for the handshaking process. So here you have one microcontroller or microprocessor. Next we'll get an output device. In between this we will see how the process is going to act. So between a microcontroller and microprocessor, data. So the data bus is available where the data will be transmitted from your microcontroller or microprocessor to your device. Now a valid data is present on the carrier. So it has to be given as a stopped input. So when input signal is given, that is nothing but a stop. It is an active low signal. So when this particular signal is going to be low, then it indicates that a valid data is available onto your data bus, and it has to, and the same should be acknowledged by the output device. So it will be acknowledged with the symbol called ACK. This is also an active low signal. When an active low signal is recognized by this ACK bar, then the output is recognized. The output is giving a acknowledgement signal to the microcontroller stating that a valid input is received from your end. Suppose if the output device is very busy, that is, for example, if it is handling more than one communication process, so if it will be busy, under that, if a microcontroller is sending a data, at that moment your output device will issue a busy signal to your microcontroller, so that your microcontroller will wait, or it will perform the next task where the other requests are where the other interrupts are requested. So strobe, there are two types of communication. One is your strobe based communication, and another one is your handshake based communication. Both are asynchronous data communication. Why we are calling it as an asynchronous data communication? In the sense, in this diagram, when you look at this diagram, when you look here, there is no clock signal available. Just a data is getting transferred from your transmitting end to your receiving end, and also with the valid control signals like strobe, acknowledge, busy, depending upon which data line has to be which interrupts has to be requested. So these two are asynchronous mode of communication, and also as it is going to transfer character byte oriented character 1 byte at a time, it is called as your character byte oriented data transmission system. And in case of your strobe based, it uses only one control line. In strobe based communication, only one control line is used, whereas in case of handshake based communication, two control line is used. In strobe based communication, the one control line is mainly used either by the source or it could be used by your destination. It is just like your half duplex communication, whereas the handshake based communication utilizes two control signals. One control signal to acknowledge your transmitting data, and the other control signal is used to acknowledge your received data. So it uses two control signals. One is to transmit the data that indicates the presence of data, and another one to acknowledge it. The handshaking signal is either initiated by the source or by the destination. So it is just like your full duplex mode of operation when you are transmitting your data.